Hello, people. This is Mac with Mac Commentary. Well, as many of you know, in the last week or so, Odell Beckham Jr. has been in the news quite a bit concerning his removal from an American Airlines flight in November. Matter of fact, the 27th of November, 2022. As you may have noticed that at that time, the only pictures we saw was Odell being escorted off the flight with several officers walking behind him. Right after that removal, the Miami-Dade Police Department released a statement. They revealed that a medical emergency notification that came in that morning, 9:30 a.m. to be exact, on November 27th, 2022. The flight crew told police and fire rescue Odell appeared to be coming in and out of consciousness before departure to Los Angeles. Police said the attendants feared that Mr. Beckham was seriously ill and his condition would worsen through the expected 5-hour flight. Now, this is what was said before the footage was released. And this newly released body cam footage shows American Airlines flight attendants insisting on Beckham's removal from the flight, despite a wellness clearance from emergency personnel. You can watch this portion of this encounter right here, but I will also put the longer version of what happened, the link in the description of this video. And here in this particular video, you'll see what happened before he was removed from the American Airlines flight. In November, the only footage was of Mr. Beckham walking through the airport after his removal. After making several separate travel arrangements, Beckham released a series of tweets highlighting the incidents. He tweeted, "Never in my life have I experienced what just happened to me. I've seen it all," he added. "I could never make this up," in a separate tweet. In the new footage now, an officer, he wakes Mr. Beckham, who appears to be in first class. The officers ask if he can get up and if he's okay. To which Beckham responds, "Yeah." He sits up and looks around, seemingly dazed. Several police officers continue questioning him, apparently trying to make sure Odell was conscious of his current location. At one point, one of the emergency personnel, fire rescue, stated, "He's very tired. He looks good to me, though." Now, this is when the appeared to be a Hispanic female flight attendant standing nearby didn't seem convinced. She asked officer about Odell's pants. "Where's his pants? Where's the baby's pants?" Now, the officer reassured her Odell was wearing pants. But a few seconds later, flight attendant off camera told another officer Odell wasn't wearing pants before their arrival. Now, this was the gay flight attendant making this statement. The gay guy even went on to say that he reached down to fasten Mr. Beckham's seatbelt, but he saw he had no pants on. And at that point, he refused to reach down anymore. And he kept trying to wake him up, but they couldn't wake him up. I really think this is a bunch of horse manure. I mean, I've seen.
Sir, are you able to get up? Can you get up, please? You okay? Yeah. What's wrong? The airlines called for you, sir. I don't know what it is. You good?
How you doing, bud? I don't think you'll be non-responsive, but they're trying to get you to come out and speak to the push back.
He's probably on a deep sleep. You know where you're at, sir?
Shut down. Contain anything?
It's bright time.
Okay.
He looks good to me.
Careful.
Where's his pants?
Oh, sorry?
Where's the baby's pants?
What do you mean?
He's only got his underwear. Yeah.
Yeah, they're on.
Are they on now?
Yeah. They weren't on before? No.
Go back, Brian.
Okay.
Go back.
Go back? We're good.
Yes.
Yeah?
We're good.
Okay.
You know how many times you've shaken him to put his seatbelt on and he
Listen,
didn't respond?
If you don't want them to fly, that's a decision that you guys are going to have to make. That's, you know, you tell the captain, and then we'll get them out, but that's something that you guys got to make.
Multiple times, multiple people. Hey, sir, put your seatbelt on. All we're doing is this.
This is a 5-hour flight.
Yeah, it's just 5 hours.
Then that's up to you guys.
Yeah, no.
That's up to you guys. But medically, if he doesn't want us to check him out, I can't make again. And I don't really say anything wrong. He might be tired or have taken a long trip and doesn't want to follow orders. That's a whole other
He
animal.
told her he just came from a club.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. He's tired.
And he's taking stuff. And he's not even responding us to put on his seatbelt.
He just responded to know where he's at. He knows where he's at, exactly where he's flying.
And he had pants on when he came on. He had his pants on now.
His pants are on now.
His pants are on.
Well, he had shorts on underwear.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll do whatever you decide.
If you want, we'll stand by out here because I don't know what's gonna.
Right.
I don't know what you want us to do as far as fire rescue.
He's mad at us because we called you. I said, we're worried about you.
That's fine. You guys are doing your job.
He's going to go deteriorate once we get the nerve. So he's all there.
Don't worry. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
No, he doesn't want to come off.
He does not want to come out?
Just what he said.
Okay. Advise the sergeant to come here.
Motor 70's on the
He needs to come off.
We're going to have to deport everybody.
The first class.
Hey.
Just follow. There's nothing you can ever say to everybody. Ever. Yeah, that's it. I appreciate it. The only person I appreciate but that's it. There's nothing you can say. Just relax. You don't have to talk to him. Everything wrong with the world. Looking at me to get off the plane for you. I would never, ever in my life get off the plane for you. Specifically you. Maybe everybody else. I would get off the plane. That shit don't mean nothing to me. Ain't no way you can look at me. Ever.
Guys, just don't engage with him. Just don't engage. We're going to get
You gonna wait 40 minutes and I'm gonna be on a private plane home.
Good.
Yeah, with your fat ass. Yeah, I will. Get your ass off the plane for a second. Yeah, I bet. Enjoy the cheese board on the way home. Get your ugly ass. Shit don't mean nothing to me, bro. Got life fucked up. I'm sorry. All you had to do was wake me up.
We're going to go that way? Yeah, you guys plane around the galley.
They're about to go.
I've never in my entire life experienced what's going on.
I've experienced similar situations on a flight myself. I never had any major encounter like this here. When I've gotten on a flight and leaving Amsterdam, flying into JFK, and when I got on that plane, I would tell you, I told about somebody tired, been out clubbing. I had been. And when I got on that plane, I just went to sleep. Mind you, my seatbelt was fastened, of course. But nobody bothered me, and I slept on that flight for, I think it was 8 hours or what, something like that. But the next encounter I had was coming from San Juan, Puerto Rico. And on this particular flight, it was announced over the intercom that there were sandwiches available. It was early in the morning, hadn't eaten anything, that were available for sale. So when the flight attendant came by, and this was a older white female who should have been home with her grandkids, in my opinion. She came over and I asked her about the sandwich, and she very hostile stated to me that they didn't have any sandwiches. I said, well, why did you announce it? He just announced it. There were sandwiches. Well, there aren't any sandwiches because the catering truck didn't get here. I said, fine, that's all you had to say then, man. But anyway, as we continued on that flight from San Juan to Detroit, we were served coffee and etc. And as she came by, she didn't try to get my empty cup off of the little fold-down table in front of me. So I tapped her on the arm, and she jumped. Why are you touching me? And I said, well, I'm just trying to get your attention, ma'am. And she went off with that. And I was just so taken aback, and I looked at the guy sitting next to me. I said, what do you think of this? What's the problem? He said, I think she's just racist. And I'm going to tell you, I got back home. I wrote a letter to Delta Airlines about that incident. And I got a response from an individual. Said that the flight attendant said I punched her in the side. I mean, but he at the same time said it was all my fault, is what he was saying. But he sends me a $99 voucher, which I never used because I didn't fly that airline again. But this is the same situation I see here with Odell. I see pure and unadulterated racism. That's all this is. And sometimes, though, I have to be honest with you. Sometimes I think that we can bring some of this stuff upon ourselves by how we look, how we dress, but that shouldn't have anything to do with them treating Mr. Beckham as a human being and as a man. And here she's going to make the statement here, where's his pants? Where's the baby pants? Now, this is a 30-year-old man. Now, these people had more of a bigger issue with Mr. Beckham. Now, first of all, the one guy says he didn't have any pants on. Yet but Beckham attorney had stated back in November 27th that Beckham was in the seat with a blanket over his head. Now, how could this guy say he come there and he didn't see him with any pants on? And then why would Mr. Beckham take his pants off? But every time if you notice in the film, every time that the rescue people try to say, well, he seems okay to us. after the flight attendant stated that his seatbelt wasn't fastened as a excuse to pretext to get him off the plane, and then they went to say that his pants were down as another pretext to get him off the plane, to say something was wrong with him, and then finally after the rescue people stated that he seemed quite well, the medical people stated that he seemed quite well to them, Then she claimed that he stated that he was fresh out of the club, or that he had been up all night at the club. I mean, to make it seem like he was inebriated or drunk, but at no time that you see in that video where Mr. Beckham appeared to be belligerent or drunk or inebriated or whatever words that they were using to make it seem like he was impaired or something. They just said that, and the medical personnel simply stated that he seemed very tired. And one woman stated that one of the flight attendants stated that he was already, this was in very old flight attendant, I'd say middle age, in her 50s or so, stated that he was already mad. So they called the police. Like we said, where do you see in this video? And like I said, I put the link down there where you can look at the complete video of his Mr. Beckham encounter with the police, and also with the police encounter with the flight attendant. And my question is, where was the captain at in all of this? That's his ship. He's supposed to be making decisions like this, not some flight attendant. And I mean, the medical personnel, they came on there, they looked over Mr. Beckham, they say, oh, he looks fine, he's cleared, there's nothing wrong with him. If they was concerned about whether or not he was too sick to fly, they say, hey, he's just tired, And somehow or another, they must have known at this point that he was a footballer, and that he was probably in pretty good shape. And yet they still wanted him off of that plane. And to me, this is just doggone what I call, and the way they went about it, it's asinine. And where was the captain at? Why didn't he step up to the plate? I saw him somewhere in one of the videos standing back. I don't know whether he was the captain, but he was one of the flight officers on that particular flight. But he's never said anything regarding whether or not Mr. Beckham should be removed or should stay. But I mean, it seemed like ever since 9/11, they've given so much authority to these flight attendants where they can make any accusation against. We've seen this over and over against a passenger and have them kicked off the plane, have the police to come in and drag them off the plane for whatever reason. But I have to give the police in this case A+ for how they handled this situation here. I mean, they came in, they were polite to Mr. Beckham, and they told him, said, well, we're going to have to empty the whole plane if you don't elect to go, sir. And I would have done the same thing. And now if they had forced him off of that plane, the police then that's another, excuse me, another charge that he could have had against the police for dragging him off the plane. Now, there was a breach of contract here somewhere. He paid for a ticket, and they didn't honor that ticket. Now, the plane was getting ready to take off, and somehow or another, it was called back to the gate for whatever reason. And yet they want to say that Mr. Beckham caused an upheaval on the plane. And when the man was tired, he was sleepy. And I don't understand why he didn't pursue. Maybe there might be something more to this that I don't know. I would still pursue some type of lawsuit or something against that airline, those personnel on there, because it's a defamation of character. What they were saying, that he had his pants down, and he was drunk, he was inebriated. I mean, yet you can't see all of this from his interaction with the deputies there, the police officers. But maybe, I guess, when you look at Mr. Beckham's estimated net worth of between $30 and $40 million, I guess when he say, well, I don't want to go through all of this. But sometimes you have to go through this, because this is no different. This type of behavior that the airline personnel exhibited here in the airline top echelon management, CEO or whoever, what they have exhibited here is totally out of line with what you would expect from people in this society today. I mean, it's just not right. It takes us back. It takes us back to 1946, when Jackie Robinson and his wife were attempting to board a plane to go to a farm team down in Florida, which was a farm team of the Brooklyn Dodgers at that time. And they would not allow him to board that plane. Now, a lot of us think that racism is dead and is gone in this country, and those with money seem to, who depends on their 6-figure and 7-figure jobs and don't care about what happens to the rest of us. Like this particular, now they put, as someone was telling me, they put blacks in certain positions so that they can monitor the situation, make sure things like this does not happen. Here you had a supervisory personnel of the American Airlines who was black of Caribbean origin. Apparently, he gets on board the plane. He talks to Odell. He comes back and says, "Well, he's not going to leave the plane. So you have to do whatever you have to do." Now, if this guy was in a supervisor's position and he saw that he talked to Odell Beckham and he came to the conclusion that he was okay, but he would not leave the plane. But he's going to come back and he's going to support these young, old flight attendants. And I don't want to get into name calling with them, but you had the gay guy, you had the overweight Hispanic woman, then you had the other overweight older white female, blonde. Those were the main three that I saw interacting with the officers there. And maybe they're the one that catered to the first class section of that plane. But still, this black guy could have taken some action. Said, "Well, look, let me talk to the captain. Captain, I think he would be okay to fly. The man has bought his ticket. He was tired. Boom, let him fly on to his destination." And apparently he was asleep, and he's probably going back to sleep. So what do these people care? But no, they want to exert their authority, exert their racism, I mean, it's, and then on top of all of that, you have these other commentators that come out on the certain shows that the Shannon Sharps, the A. Stevens or whatever his name is. You have this guy Jason Whitlock. All of these on these conservative networks, Fox, ESPN. I mean, I'm a conservative too, but I mean, I'm not going to sell myself out. But these guys are put in these positions, this TMZ, whatever they show. Yeah, they got a black guy on there, and they had a black female on there. And you go back and look at those shows, and you'll see the black female is the only one that I saw that tried to use some common sense. She used to be a flight attendant, and she tried to explain things quite well. But the rest of the blacks that they have in these positions, they go along with the Jew guy there on TMZ who want to defamate the character of Odell. And the same thing with these other talk show pundits or whatever you want to call them, you know. But I tell you, this is something, this is just, like I said, it goes back to Jackie Robinson. And today, we're seeing the same thing happen. We had another incident where I believe it was a director of films, a black guy. I don't recall his name at this time. But he had the same situation. I might show a clip of that. And at that time, you'll get his name. But he had the same situation aboard an airplane. They told the airplane, I think he was coming from, I don't know where he was coming from, to be honest with you. But I remember seeing that video clip. And the flight attendant told him, the person at the boarding there told him they didn't have any more, who checked you in on the flight, said that they didn't have any more seats left. So what he did, he went and stood away from them. They told him, said, you got to go to a ticket counter and book you another flight. He went back and he recorded the scene there where they actually let 2 white passengers onto that same flight. The same person there. So I'm just telling you, people. These people do whatever they want to, but it's all on us. Delta Airlines has launched an investigation after Darnell Lamont Walker said he was discriminated against or not allowed to board a plane. He was prevented from boarding the plane by an agent who admitted that it was due to racism. Now, the agent told Lamont, he stated in his complaint, that it was too late because the doors closed 15 minutes prior. He stated, I held my phone up to his face and told him I still have time before that marker. He told me he was not concerned with the time on my phone and told me I was too late and to take any issue I had up with the agents at the customer service desk. As he waited at this customer service desk, Walker said he recorded the gate agent laughing and joking with the other white passengers and letting them aboard the flight. Very different from what he gave me. Take a look at the video and you will see what he's talking about. Now, there the passengers go back to the people. I'm telling you right now. I mean, we run around, we think that because we make the 6 figures, we make the 7 figures, that we got the millions of dollars, that this stuff doesn't roll down to us. But it does. It goes to all of us. No matter how much money you got, if you're black in America, in this world, you got issues. And it's time that black people in this world come together, especially in these United States. Now, you can keep on going and you can go out here and you can buy your mansions and whatever, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you buy. Look at what happened to Tiger Woods. He had a $50 million mansion that he built down in West Palm Beach. I mean, look at the devastation they did to him. And, no, it's all because that's another story too. I'm not going to get into that one. But But you look at all of your super rich blacks, and they mostly entertainers and type of celebrities, but none of them come together and try to do anything to pool their resources to uplift the black race of people in this country. And this is why we experience things like this. And we'll continue to experience, because they have put us in these positions, these talk shows, so that they can say whatever they want to, and we'll go along with it. They got another black on there who will say, who will co-sign what this white guy has said or this Jewish guy has said. And if he doesn't, he won't have his 6-figure job anymore, his 7-figure job. So until we come together, people, this is going to continue on to happen in this country. Don't you think you can't legislate any laws, just like this Sheila Lee Jackson, I believe, put a law out to try to, that's another story I'm going to do on that one. But she got this law out to try to legislate anybody making any threats against people of color, that they can be, it's a criminal act. But that's not going to get any traction there, and not in a Republican-led Congress. But the thing it is, she should be making some type of legislation to deal with this here, the killings and things that's going on within our communities, from this rap music that's perpetrated that started and are put out there by the leaders and the owners of these record companies that promote these rappers out there to denigrate the black people. I mean, I don't see them coming up with anything to try to stop that. And it's not just the rap either. It's also the stuff that goes on with the movies. But this rap stuff that infiltrates in the minds of the black youth is the most dangerous thing that we have and what is happening. Now you take Mr. Beckham. Mr. Beckham is dressed like a rapper. He wears the hoodie. He's got the beard. He got all the tattoos. He got all the signs of a thug. Maybe these people didn't know who he was, maybe that's why they say, what is he doing in first class? Let's get this guy off of here. Let's get him off. We don't want him on this plane. They definitely did not know who Mr. Beckham was. That's my belief. Now, had Mr. Beckham gone on that plane and he had dressed business casual, something of that nature, instead of wearing baggy sweatpants, sweatshirt, hoodie, if he had been dressed in a more different way, that probably would not have happened. He probably. But then again, what about the guy coming from this other destination, the black guy that I was telling you about? Now he was dressed very nice, very businesslike, and they refused him to let him board the plane. It goes back, like I said, back to 1946 when they wouldn't let Jackie Robinson board a plane. He and his wife. As a matter of fact, they wouldn't even serve him at the airport. He had to go and eat out of a shoebox. So these things here, people, I'm telling you, Dr. Martin Luther King realized in his last days that integration was not what we needed. We need economical economic viability. We need to maintain and build our own economic structure. That's what he finally realized. And I understand he was getting ready to go to Washington and demand some type of reparations. And he had mentioned it in his last speech there in Memphis, I am told. So I'm telling you, people, right now, if we don't come together as a people, this stuff will go on and on and on. Don't you see what's happening in this country now? Don't you see they letting in all the more and more people of color to bury the black people, as Dr. Claude Anderson has said? Don't you see what's happening? Don't you see how they let in 100,000 of Ukrainians? That's another false war over there. That's another story. And yet when the Haitians try to come to this country, your beloved Biden sent 25,000 on planes back to Haiti. Yet they let all of the ones coming in from the Central America and South America, Cuba, let them in. But don't let any more blacks in. We want to bury those blacks. And then this rap generation here is helping them to do that work. All of these rappers, millionaires, billionaires, or whatever they are out there, they are helping the Satan do his work. So anyway, people, I want you to watch this video in its entirety and get the full context of what I'm saying. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so I can continue to bring you more and more commentary. Thank you and have a great day.